They should have used the tagline for that animated series for this season of The Boys, because Season 5 is shaping up to be straight up diabolical. We've got Butcher reuniting with the team, the return of Terror, Sister Sage lurking in the background, and Ashley Barrett doing what she does best, spinning narratives and sleeping with questionable men. Homelander's character arc for Season 5 is clear as well. He's going to be looking for Vought's immortality formula. But what if we told you that the place where he's going to get it has most likely already been shown in the trailers? That's where this hidden building comes into play, so spoiler warning for those of you who don't like those, and stick with us to the end to find out how one place is going to change the entire Boysverse. What is Fort Harmony? Military buildings and medical centers explained. Our formal understanding of medicine as we know it is quite recent, but the fact is that the practice of medicine itself is as old as humanity. Ever since the Stone Age, humans have been fighting other humans, and since then, humans have been treating other humans who have procured injuries during those fights. That's why war and medicine have such a close connection to one another, because medicine itself developed and transformed because of the influence of humanity's bloodlust. Now, it's true the modern concept of disease and infection studies and several other things weren't developed until the 19th or even the 20th century, but that doesn't mean people weren't trying to cure other people before hospitals became a thing. For as long as conflict has existed, so has some form of medicine. And these treatment models and institutions were largely centered on military encampments and fortifications. From the Smith Papyrus, which showed ancient Egypt's approach to wound treatment, including things like cauterization, to the Roman Empire, which perfected military encampment structures and employed medical corpsmen known as the Immunes, to Mahmud Khalji, the Sultan of Malwa, under whom one of India's first drug dispensaries was established, to colonial Britain, which made their forts the heart of military and medicine. The connection between war and healing, though ironic, has been ever present. The British, in particular, emphasized a fort-based approach to medical advancement, as evidenced by the fact that Fort St. George, which is where the government of colonial Madras operated out of, was later turned into the Madras Medical School. By the 20th century, forts were no longer mere defensive structures. They became hubs for commerce, warfare, and medical advancement, where the latest thoughts and treatment approaches were being developed and perfected. That's where Fort Harmony comes into the picture, because from the brief glimpse of it that we get from the trailer, it's clear to us that this is a place that was built for military medicine. I mean, it being called the Fort Harmony Medical Institute kind of gives that fact away as well, but you know what we mean by this statement. Fort Harmony was kind of like Fort St. George, in that it's where America was treating and developing its latest medical technology. Our best guess would be at least half a century, because a building as strong as this one looks doesn't fall into disrepair over a couple of decades. That timeline also lines up with the two characters we see visiting it initially, because turns out Fort Harmony is important to the history of the Boysverse as well. It isn't just a location for practicing military medicine, it transformed the landscape of this world. Because, why is Fort Harmony important? This is where Soldier Boy was made. Soldier Boy from the show is a much more effective dark mirror to Captain America than Soldier Boy from the comics, because in the comics, that guy literally pisses his pants whenever he gets scared. And, he gets scared a lot. Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy is basically the opposite of Steve Rogers in every way imaginable. Rogers was a poor man from the mean streets of New York with true patriotism in his heart, who could fight bullies all day long. Soldier Boy is the son of Philadelphia's most powerful steel magnate, who screwed up boarding school so hard he flunked out. Steve Rogers was selected for Operation Rebirth because of his determination, dedication, and never-give-up attitude, whereas Soldier Boy used his dad's contacts in the War Department to get into Frederick Vaught's Compound V trials. The only thing that's the same about these two characters is the fact that they were both injected with a super soldier serum that gave them powers, but even the way in which that was handled was quite different. Steve Rogers was given his training at Camp Lee, but his injection at a secret facility in Brooklyn. That's why Operation Rebirth is also called the Brooklyn Project in the comics. Soldier Boy, on the other hand, never talked about a secret lab or experimental research facility. He made it seem like everything that was done to him was done through proper government-sanctioned channels. As we've learned over the course of the past 4 seasons, and the 2 seasons from the Gen V spin-off, the one thing Vaught's good at that S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't is hiding in plain sight. They use established protocol to get their way, and that's where Fort Harmony comes into the picture. Judging from the climate and the environment surrounding it in that trailer, we already know that Soldier Boy used his dad's contacts to get into those trials, and if we put all this information together and see it through the lens of the trailer, where we witness both Soldier Boy and Homelander walking into Fort Harmony, we can only come to one conclusion. He became who he is today, or to put it more transparently, this is where Soldier Boy was born. It looks like Season 5 will be giving us a lot more about his backstory as it navigates his son's current story, because Soldier Boy has captivated the minds of the audience like few other soups have. Plus, if this is where he turned into a soup, then that makes it line up with Homelander's current goal perfectly. How will Fort Harmony change everything? The path to Homelander's Season 5 goals. Soldier Boy is most likely the second person ever to become a soup. The first was Stormfront, which we know because A, she admits it, and B, she was Frederick Vaught's wife. It makes total sense for her to give his wife his greatest creation first, because who else could it be safer to test on? But here's the thing, Soldier Boy and Stormfront didn't get the same formula that most other soups get, because unlike most other soups, Soldier Boy and Stormfront do not age. Even same goes for Soldier Boy, who was this close to getting pedophilia accusations after he made a romantic film with an actress that wasn't even 20 yet. All this was possible because these two received the original Compound V formula, which the trailer calls V1, and that's exactly what Homelander is looking for in Season 5. Homie might be the strongest soup out there, which he proved when he took on Soldier Boy, beat-up Butcher, and Huey, and still lived to tell the tale, but unlike his dad, Homie ages. His Season 4 arc was as much about a descent into madness as it was about coming to grips with his mortality. Both his body and Sister Sage made it abundantly clear to him that there were limitations to the way his body functioned. Heck, Homelander is preserving his pubic hair like it's part of a historical record, so you know he's obsessed with his mortality. And the solution in his mind is to take what his father took during World War II, V1. If Homie gets his hands on that formula, he'll truly become an immortal god with absolute power, because he already is the most powerful soup on Earth. The only thing that's holding him back is aging, which V1 could potentially fix. The trailers focus on his constant assertion that he needs to become absolute, and there's a moment where he goes beyond the conflict he and Soldier Boy had in the past, and he admits that he needs his father's help. This, most likely, is the help he wants, and Fort Harmony could be the place where he gets it, because if we're right about Soldier Boy's creation, then this place could still have vials of V1 left behind in deep storage. There are two particular moments from the trailer that make it seem like that's the case, and one of them shows Homie shooting his lasers into the sky after either getting frustrated again or being injected with the same formula that made him the man in the sky. If it's the latter, that's a terrifying prospect, because it would mean he's achieved his objectives. But the former would make sense too if he and Daddy Dearest came up short at Fort Harmony. Either way, it's clear to us that a confrontation between him and Butcher will take place here in some form, because in both the teaser and the trailer for Season 5, we see the boys arriving at Fort Harmony's parking lot, and one of them shows nothing there, but the other depicts a massacre. The boys are also on the hunt for V1 in Season 5 because they know what Homie's plan is going to be, which makes Fort Harmony even more important. Keep an eye on it because you're fascinated with the history of forts and medicine, want to know more about Soldier Boy's backstory, or you're just excited to witness the final chapter in the saga of Butcher vs. Homelander. Fort Harmony is one place you'll want to keep a close eye on. As for this video, that's all we got for you guys, so let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content from the Boysverse, because like we said in the intro, things are about to get diabolical, and we're going to be breaking it all down every step of the way. We'll see you guys soon with yet another video, so until then, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and we'll see ya in the next one.